Alright, here we are for match 2 with Tradewind Good Stuff. I took a quick look at Rich Hagun's Twitch stream. He just got given this deck as well. And he's claiming easy O2. So we'll see if we go easy O2 or not. I guess, keep. This is a slow hand. There's no birds. But as long as we're not against Draw, Go, or Forbidian. No island, no island, no island. Plains. We're up against white weenies. At least we've got a main deck enchantment hate. We could potentially have been against Oath of Druids, but they do not play White Knight. So we are against white weenie. They're going to flood the board with 1/1s, 2/2s, and then throw on a rather disgusting enchantment called Imperial Armor, which gives +1/+1 for each card in your hand. Yeah, it's going to be bad times. So we're going to try as quickly as possible to get creatures. Armageddon's not quite going to do it. Get creatures, get Tradewind Rider, and start bouncing stuff. They don't have too much removal. They have Disenchant, which doesn't do anything against us, does it? We don't play enchantments. They've got Tithe, which doesn't do anything. They do have Cataclysm. They do have Cataclysm. Well, we're flooding a bit, which could make Armageddon okay. The opponent's deck does only play 17 lands because it caps out at like 3 as the top end. So we'll block. And these Encore are really obnoxious. So it pays 0, and the next 1 damage that will be dealt to Warrior Encore this turn is dealt to target creature you control instead. So you can like shuffle all your damage around. It gets gross. They're going to Tithe, so they're going to go get a Plains if an opponent controls more land, which will almost always happen in any matchup that they're up against. You get to go and get another one, and they go into your hand. So that is Flood Insurance against Armageddon. But we are going to get a Tradewind Rider next turn. Another White Knight, sure thing. And then we've got another Tradewind Rider. So we could potentially get a little bit of a lock here starting next turn. Not a great lock. Not a great lock in any way, shape, or form. But sort of a lock. Sort of a lock. So we are going to block and block. Take 2. Alrighty then. So we do have the option of Armageddoning. But I think we'd rather just get a Tradewind out. Get another Tradewind out. And now we can start bouncing stuff. Bouncing lots of stuffs. And if we are going to Armageddon next turn, then we're not going to play a land. We're just going to hold it back. So we actually have them on a pretty hard lock, as long as they don't hit Cataclysm, which they'd have to do basically this turn. Alright, so they are going to attack. So we will block, block and block, kill off a White Knight, and then we will bounce that Warrior Encore. Which hopefully kills a White Knight, takes that Encore back, forces them to recast it. Oh, they did have the Cataclysm. So each player chooses among the permanents he or she controls an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a land, and then sacks the rest. So we, of course, are going to keep a Tradewind Rider. And I guess we're going to keep the City of Brass. We have forests. Reflecting Pool will be online once we get the Gemstone Mine. So that's not the worst thing to happen. Yeah, we'll keep the Reflecting Pool. So that may have just been a desperation thing. We'll see how many more lands they have in hand. Well, there's a Soul Warden. So we're going to drop the Gemstone Mine, get access to all colors, and then we'll drop a Wall of Blossoms. Draw another card, we get another Wall of Blossoms. So we can almost start trade winding again. There's the Imperial Armor. There's the thing we don't want to have happen. We'll take 4 here. And with this Wall of Blossoms, we do get to bounce that and get rid of that Imperial Armor. So that's a plus. That's a big plus. We'll drop a Forest. So now we could Wall of Roots and Wall of Blossoms, actually. Believe we'll do that. So let's Wall of Roots. And then let's Wall of Blossoms. Drawing a card. And then we will pass the turn. And then of course we're going to bounce that Soul Warden like it ain't no thing. Yeah, no. We'll block. Oh no, I won't even go to block step. Won't even pretend. It's being bounced. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Soul Warden. Soltari Monk. Didn't play a land, so now Armageddon is a thing that can come into our purview. So the Shadow is going to be a real big problem outside of the Tradewind Rider. So we need to keep the Tradewind for the Monk. So we could Necrotol, killing the Soul Warden. I think that seems reasonable. So yeah, we'll Necrotol black. We don't want to lose that Gemstone Mine just yet. It wouldn't be the worst thing to lose it for the moment. No, we'll just use the Wall of Roots. So Wall of Roots, black, black, 1 and 1. Kill the Soul Warden. And then we will pass the turn. We'll bounce the Soltari Monk. And then next turn we might Armageddon. Fortunately, Living Death, not as good against this deck if we kill some of their things off. Yeah, we're going to need to bounce that. Feel free to replay it. I think we Armageddon now before any more shenanigans happen with Cataclysm. Because Cataclysm would be very, very bad. So, yes, we will Armageddon here. White, boop, boop, and boop. Armageddon, goodbye all lands. And now we sort of start to get a lock here. Yeah, we get the lock, because we can just start bouncing any lands they have and we win. Well, that worked out. Let's do that again, shall we? So, enchantments are bad, okay? They do not play any artifacts whatsoever. Out of the sideboard, still no artifacts. So, Cloud Chaser in. I could see Mana War coming in as well. Just to bounce their things that get the enchantment on it. So, what do we take out? Everything's actually pretty decent against them. I'm really unsure about this Intuition. I don't get why Intuition is here. Like, I guess it's to get a guaranteed Armageddon if we haven't seen any, or a guaranteed Living Death. Let's take out 2. Corpse Dance just seems dumb. Like what is Corpse Dance getting back? Yeah, get rid of Corpse Dance. I don't see the point of that. We can get rid of one Living Death. And we can get rid of one other card somewhere. Maybe just a Necrotol? A lot of his stuff has Pro Black. So yeah, let's get rid of a Necrotol. Let's see how this does. Alright, we're back. We've got somehow even slower of a hand than last time. Like, this just doesn't do anything. We do not want a 2-2 on turn 3. So that's, sorry, that's a mull. Oh no. I will keep and hope there's a land on top. There is, thankfully, so we do get the Wall of Blossoms here. We might be okay off this. But that was a risky keep. If we can hit 2 lands, we can Mana War and things will be pretty decent. Ooh. Okay. Okie dokes. Well, we will Wall of Blossoms here. And say 1 time, no Imperial Armor. But even still, we'll get hit once with it and then get to Mana War. There it is. That's a 6/5 unblockable. So that's going to get bounced. That's going to get bounced pretty hard. Right now. Right here. Right now. Mana War. Go away. I'm already down to 12 life. Soltari Monk comes back. White Knight joins the fray. And I guess we drop Tradewind Rider and hope that we live. So we can block that. We have to take 2, go to 8. And then we can start bouncing it. No Cataclysm. Warrior Encore. Sure. Warrior Encore. Sure. Yay, something that's not City of Brass. Okay. How do we not die? Suggestions? I'm open to anything. We can Intuition for a Living Death. It would wipe the board and do nothing, but it would at least wipe the board, right? Otherwise, we can Hermit Druid. Well, we can Hermit Druid and Intuition. It's just I would have to go to 6 to do all of that. Okie dokies. Okay. Well, we're in trouble. I'll tell you that much. I guess, yeah, we just like Living Death and Hope, so let's drop the Hermit Druid. And let's pass the turn. If I can maybe live a couple of turns, I can try to mill myself with the Druid a bit. That's an option. But we have very few turns with that Monk. Very few turns, so we're going to have to bounce the Monk. Which means we're going to need to block, block, and block. And then bounce the Monk. My Mana War is going to die. He's going to replay the Monk. And a Warrior Encore. 1 card in hand, so I guess, yeah, I guess we just go for the Living Death. Ooh, that is dangerous, but... and then I have to take 2 more, so we're going to go to 4. But we're going to have an empty board on his side and a Mana War on my side. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, this feels bad. This feels real bad. I will say living death, living death, living death. Which card are you going to give me, opponent? I guess I actually do. I get to do one plug of the Hermit Druid. Right? I get to go green, and then I get to go black, 1, 2, 3. We hit a spike feeder and a bird, so that's actually, that's not the worst to happen. So then we will living death. Actually, we'll attack in with Trade Wind Rider for 1 first. May as well get that 1 point of damage in. And then living death. Down to 4. Oh, I have to? Ew. Well, if I must, I guess we pop the Bird's Paradise back to my hand. And then pass the turn. Alright, he's got 1 card in hand. We've got 6 power on the board. No creature. That's a creature. I somewhat politely asked you to... Well, I didn't. I guess I wasn't that polite. I'm sorry, opponent. So... We birds. And then we get in for 2 in the air. Tithe! Go and get yourself a couple of planes. Thins the deck a little bit. So we can throw 2 counters onto our birds, which blocks the White Knight. And we hope he doesn't draw the Imperial. Sounds good. Opponent drew a Soul Warden. That's not too bad. Yeah, we will pass the turn. Get another Spike Feeder. Well then. I will bash in the air for 2. Man, if we pull this off at 4 life, I'm gonna be happy. And we'll drop a Spike Feeder. Gain 2 life. Sure. Solitary Piece, Pro Red Shadow. Well, we might just die there. That might be the end of us. We've got some Spike Feeders to keep us alive for a little tiny bit. A little tiny bit. So I will bash in for 2. Three, 4. Yeah, in for 4. No blocks. If we drop the Hermit Druid, we can only activate Spike Feeder once. This way we can activate Spike Feeder twice. Are we even activating Spike Feeder? I mean, we're just dead if he has the Imperial Armor. So in that case, maybe we Armageddon. Yeah, I guess we Armageddon. White, 1, 2, 3. Well, if I Armageddon, then I can't do Spike Feeder. No, 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 no. Ugh. Don't like it. Don't like it, guys. Shadow is gross. Do we have any way of dealing with Shadow other than trying to get our Tradewind Riders? The deck's named after it. We should have seen more than one. Lobotomy, not really. It's just the Mana Wars, which we already have in. Gross. Alright, opponent, go to combat. Hit me for 2. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah. We are super dead. Wall of Roots, not gonna do it. I will fly in for 2. Block, block. Fly in for 2, take him to 12. So we can take a counter off of each of these to negate this attack this turn. So we'll remove a counter, remove a counter. Take 4, go to 2. Opponent passes the turn. We draw a birds. So we can do that one more time, but I'm not sure what we're building up to here. We really needed a Tradewind Rider several turns ago. Gain 2 life. Gain 2 life. Well, that will buy us one more turn. In for 2. Gain 2 life. Gain 2 life. Go back to 2. Wall of Blossoms. Wall of Blossoms. Where were you several turns ago? Several turns ago. We're dead. Wow. That was unfortunate. Super unfortunate. Let's jump back in. Try it again. Try it again and hope. Alright, round 3. Gonna play first. I see a birds. I see a Mana War. I see a Living Death. I like everything I see. Snappiest of keeps. We can even let him overextend a little bit maybe with and then Living Death. I'd really prefer that I had a Hermit Druid online and milling before Living Death, but it is an option if he goes real wide real quick. No 1-drop. Nice. We'll drop, I guess, an Underground River. Pass the turn. Is there anything that we would Intuition for right now? We could always Intuition for our 3 Tradewind Riders. Because then if they do go to the graveyard, we get them back off Living Death. Kind of like that idea. Do I do that? No, not yet. We'll just Mana War this turn. Maybe that's the play, though, and I just super don't understand this deck. That's entirely possible. We're going to go blue, colorless, green, bounce your Sultari Priest, pass the turn. Paladin Unvec, what the hell are you? 2/2, first strike, pro black, pro red. Okay. Ooh, Hermit Druid. It's almost as though I asked for you. Hermit Druid. I will pass the turn. So I will Intuition for my Tradewind Riders. Yeah. I'll Intuition this turn for my Tradewind Riders. Pop them into the graveyard, I think. We'll see. I don't want to walk into a Cataclysm is the big issue. White Knight, sure thing. Yeah, let's Intuition. Trade wind, trade wind, trade wind. A trade wind, thanks. Alright, so we've got black, black, 1, 2, 3, and a green to mill a little bit here. So we are going to mill a little bit here. We're going to get a Hermit Druid, a Spike Feeder, a Wall of Roots. Cool. And then we are going to bash in for 2. Opponent should take it. They must smell something. So we're going to get a Man of War back as well. So let's go black, black, boop, boop, and boop. Kill everything. I've got a board. Cataclysm's gonna wreck me, so let's actually pull back one of these Trade Wind Riders. And pass the turn. Hey, opponent, got a Cataclysm? Wrath of God. Ouch. Buy everything. GG, opponent. Hey. Another living death, eh? Well, I will go birds. Trade wind. Pass the turn. Tariff. Each player sacks the creature he or she controls with the highest converted mana cost unless he or she pays that creature's mana cost. No. Bye, Trade Wind. Soul Warden. Soltari Priest. Welp. Let's do this song and dance again. Black, black, white, white, white. Living Death again? And then I'll bounce your Shadow guy. We could trade Wind Rider as well. Question is he holding another Wrath of God? Trade Wind 1, 2. Trade Wind 1, 2. Trade Wind 1, 2. I mean, if he has Wrath of God, GG. If he doesn't, we're not going to build up. Well, no, I can't get that greedy. I can't get that greedy. No wrath. No wrath. No wrath. All right. So we could bounce 2 lands, which doesn't keep him off wrath. So I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is pass the turn. The good old pass the turn, do nothing. And now we might start a lock. Opponent does nothing. So we're going to bounce a land. Bounce another land. This turn we could just bounce a couple more lands. We're going to bounce one more land to keep him off wrath. And then we're going to drop another Trade Wind Rider. And now we should have a lock. We can keep him off Wrath. We can keep him off Cataclysm. I think we did it. I think we did it. Yeah, we did it. We're 1-1. We didn't go 0-2. So we're going to go to round 3, hopefully not be up against one of the control decks, and see if we can do that again.